Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. Before the break, I called Republican leader Tom Cross Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
So, you know what? We're projecting the future, folks. This is our positive thought of the day.
That's your prediction.
Absolutely. If you think you can, you can. So that's 6 + 6 - 1 minus Madigan.
That's it. The new
Speaker Cross. So there you go.
Don't curse it by promising it yet. But you've done a lot of work out in the field with taking off those 5-inch heels, and I've seen her with flats going door to door.
The grassroots are passionate about taking Illinois back. The grassroots Tea Party movement knows what's going on. They have expectations from their leaders. They want Illinois to be the bold, bright state of Ronald Reagan. They are walking precincts right now. And real quick, how do you feel about this grassroots movement? And I want to hear what these Republicans are going to do for solutions to get our state back.
First of all,
to save our state right now.
I think what you're seeing in this state in the Republican Party is a resurgence, and people are coming together. We don't agree on everything, but I think we realize the state's a mess, and from a financial and fiscal standpoint, we all need to come together. Jack and I have been working together this cycle better than ever before, and I want to say thank you on the record for all your help and for your whole team, because we have a good partnership. We've recruited good candidates with your help.
And the Republican Renaissance PAC team, yes.
And funding them, and we're very appreciative. First thing we would do, Carol, is we'd repeal the income tax. The income tax passed in the middle of the night. The increase was up by 67%. You can't have economic growth with an income tax hike like that.
That was during a lame duck session, too, if I have that correctly.
And if we recall, it's kind of it happened because of the same old games the Democrats had played for years. The people that voted for, what happened to them after they voted for it, who had incidentally lost in their election but had time to vote in the lame duck section? They got rewarded with jobs. And that's just the games they play.
Patronage.
So we will repeal the income tax. The second thing we're going to do is we've got to fix the pension system. So good state employees and good teachers will have a pension system. But one of the things we're not going to do is we're not going to do it on the back of property taxpayers. That's what Speaker Madigan, Rahm Emanuel, Governor Quinn want to do. So if you're listening to this show and you're wanting to help a Republican candidate, know that he or she is going to help fix the pension system, but that their opponent doesn't want to fix the pension system. They merely want to shift the problem over to the local school districts.
It's nothing but a ploy.
That's exactly right.
It's impossible as a solution.
Exactly right.
He's pretending that he's got a solution.
And if it happened, you would see a property tax increase from 5 to 10 to 20 to 30%.
Well, you know what? Property taxes in Illinois are already, especially in Cook County, are exorbitant. We've already had so many property tax increases. So
it would destroy the whole system.
How many more foreclosures?
There's no possibility of that being any kind of a practical thing. They could not even accomplish that shift.
I have to tell you.
He suggested this thing like as if he had a solution.
You know,
it's baloney.
I just want to speak to this property tax issue, because knocking doors and talking to senior voters, they're already struggling and hurting and being buried by their property taxes. Their houses are paid for, but they're on a fixed income. A lot of them say they have to sell their homes right now in this horrible real estate market because the property taxes are overburdening to them.
You have to accept the fact that, and I think Jack's is right on and with the understanding that it's a ploy, but if they get serious about this and they continue to talk about this cost shift, it will be so overwhelming to local property taxpayers, seniors, young families, folks that maybe someone's lost a job. Gas at $4 a gallon.
Yes.
So tollways that have tolls increases that have doubled under Quinn. So all this thing adds up, and it's something we're not going to support. The third thing we've got to do is look at the workers' compensation system. Do you know that in every state around us,
workers' comp, we got a uniquely bad, costly system that's hurting the construction business all over the place.
And it's because, again, the unions and the trial lawyers, Jack and Carol, fought us. We tried to do one. If you listen to the chairman of Caterpillar, he can take the same size plant, the same number of people doing the same thing, and if he's in Indiana, it's 5 times cheaper than what it is in Illinois.
Representative,
5 times cheaper.
How many Illinois businesses are leaving and going to Indiana or going to Wisconsin, who's bold, bright, and doing the right thing? How many businesses are leaving Illinois, which is costing Illinois jobs and a tax base?
Well, if you talk to the day I was in to see the chairman at Caterpillar, I walked out of his office, and who was in the waiting room? The governor of Indiana. You can't blame him. You can't blame them because they have a balanced budget. They have a pension system that's funded. Their tax rate is reasonable, and the list goes on and on. So you've got to attack the taxes. You got to fix the pensions. You got to look at things like workers' compensation and the tort system, which is a real disaster. And then you've got to continue your have an aggressive approach to making sure that Medicaid is reformed. We did some things this year that we think can take maybe 300,000 to 400,000 people off the rolls. Not people that are entitled to Medicaid, but people that either because of income or because they don't live here should not be on. It's called scrubbing, and the governor's resisting that.
Isn't that, and people don't even live
all of
in
this
this
ruins
state.
business,
Yes.
Yep.
and not only in Illinois, it's nationwide. Worse than that, it is worldwide. We're competing against China and so forth. I got a manufacturing company. You should see our machine shop. We make stuff better and cheaper than we could do it in China. But it's hard to get to that position. We're competing against the whole world and these crazy taxes and inappropriate laws that are going on here in Illinois. They're driving companies out of Illinois into Indiana and to Mexico or China or wherever. It's an international game now. You got to play it.
It's very scary. I know we're about out of time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for working with us. We have no choice but to turn this state around. It's not about power. It's about doing the right thing. So thank you.